This episode brought to you by Greyblock Pizza, 1811 Pico Boulevard on the way to the beach in Los Angeles. Greyblock, get down here now. This episode brought to you by Ridge Wallet. Ridge Wallet is a special customs type of style of wallet. A lot of people, you ask them if they have a wallet and they don't even know what you're talking about because maybe they don't speak English. But that Ridge Wallet, it's just that cutting edge of walletry. A lot of people, they might have a wallet in their back pocket, but that Ridge, that thing, that's that front pocket. That's that front pocket item. Like, ooh, is that a ridge in your pocket? Yes, it is, boo-boo. Yes, it is. You can go to ridgewallet.com/Theo, Theo, for 10% off. They have some beautiful hitters. I use one. At first, I wasn't sure about it, and now I'm 100% sure that I like my Ridge Wallet. Man, it's getting hot out there, isn't it? You feel that heat. You feel that heat. Sometimes you just got to just get out in the yard and just show your nipples to the sunlight. You feel me?
This one goes out to all the You Past Weekend listeners.
It's this past weekend, but this guy sounds like he's from another country, and there's an exchange rate apparently on pronouns. Onward.
Gang, gang. Never too late, baby. Oh, yeah. G up, baby boy. I'm G'ing up over here. You gotta G up, man. G up.
G up, baby. I like that, dude. We all have to G up, baby. G up, baby. Who needs a Red Bull? G up. He was playing this.
Higher than a mountain.
Stevie Starlight.
Set me free. Just don't say goodbye. It's you and me.
And that's that music, like, if you ever seen the movie Hannibal Lecter's. And Hannibal Lecter's is about a man who he gets so hungry he starts eating people in his neighborhood. And I think Gene Hackman, who's in it? Gene Hackman. And there's a scene in it where there's a man in a basement. I think the man was like a milkman or like a something like that. And the man is he's stuck in his basement and he's dancing and he has his wiener tucked between his legs. You know what I'm playing? He's playing that, he's playing hide the fucking fox, And he has his wiener and his nuts tucked back between his legs and he's dancing. And this sounds like the kind of music that guy's listening to.
Enjoy the destination.
Nation.
Fantasy.
Hide the fox.
Painted on the wall. It's never too late to come over. Time slips away from you and me now. So don't hesitate to come over. Why must we wait when we're alive?
Why must we wait when we're alive? It's a great question, man, and it's one. And Stevie Starlight was on an episode here a month ago, and he's a rare gentleman. He's that rare sort of that mixed breed between humanity and nature. He's that crossbred. As if like a couple rays of sunlight and a snowbank were in a gangbang with a uterus, and then they made a baby, and that's that Stevie Starlight. And that's his music right there. And that song is called Come Over. You can find it on YouTube. Stevie Starlight, Come Over. And it's never too late. We talk about this on here sometimes. It's never too late to make that adjustment. It's never too late to have a change. It's never too late to get out of, even the dark parts of us. Even them dark arts, it's never too late. There's times in my life, even when I think back, 10 years. When I think about back when I was a child, some of the feelings that I had and uncertainties and even ignorances that I had, and those are gone now. Some of them are gone. Some of them have changed. Some of them have evolved. Some of the ignorances have, some of them are all, some of those things have calcified. And I've come to the conclusion, oh, they're not, they're okay. They weren't ignorances. They were things that I'm sure of. Some of them have calcified and with more facts and more support. And it's never too late. It's never too late for things to adjust and to take a little bit of wiggle out of that jiggle, and have things tighten up a little bit, or things evolve, or things change. You could be in a marriage, it's never too late to change it. You could be alone, and it's never too late to change it. You could have 2 legs, and you could get fucking hit by a train, bruh, while you're doing a karate kick, and you could lose one of your legs. Say you do a karate kick out across some railroad tracks, and bam, you know what I'm saying? You didn't know. And now you're that dude, you know what I'm saying? You're that dude everybody calls Flamingo. But that's okay. It's never too late for anything to happen. It's never too late. Good to be here, man. I just got back from Bakersfield. I just rolled in a couple hours ago, and they call it Bako. I didn't know that. They're like, it's good out here in Bako. It's just funny how like everything starts to get shortened. Everything starts to get just like, it's not hypothesized, but I guess everything starts to get like instead of Chicago, it's like Cago. We're out here in Cago, We're out here in, instead of Minnesota, Minnie, or Minneapolis, Minnie. We're out here in Beirut. We're out here in Root. We're out here instead of Nigeria, it's Niger. Or out here in Nigeria. Or instead of out here in Toledo, we're out here in Lido. Or instead of I have rabies, I got rabes. I don't think anybody says rabes, but that's something that I was just making up. Hope you guys are having a good day. It is it's summertime, man. It's summertime. It's hot out there. And I had a great time out in Bakersfield. So many people came out and we just lived it up, man. They had some lady, she's like, I spend so much time in my kitchen. I got a whole tattoo of my kitchen on my back. And then she showed me her back, and it was all, you could see, it was like a little kitchenette. You could see like part of a counter, it's a toaster, coffee pot. And then she points over her shoulder and had a broken window, this tattoo, dude, crazy artwork. She goes, yeah, that's my ex-husband broke that window out with a broom handle when he was angry at me. And I'm like, Jesus. This lady just carrying that around, just carrying that long day around. She'd had a long day, I'm sure, in that kitchen that day. And she's carrying it around on her back. She's carrying that around on her back. What else, man? Had some nice people out, man. I met this fella named Tyler came out, cool cat. This young dude that liked playing soccer came out. Who else, man? They had this blonde-haired lady says she's a accountant or something. She doesn't want to be an accountant. Or no, she's a scientist or something. I said, well, we need scientists. We need everything. So just be something. Just be something. But it's been a crazy week. I got to tell you guys this. Dude, I shot a music. You're not even going to believe this. And I'm almost kind of like, I don't know if I'm embarrassed to say it. I guess I'm just like insecure about it. I was in a music video. Like a music video you see on the internet. And they used to have it on MTV, but now it's just on it's on YouTube's. And this music is by Bad Baby. And our Beehod Baby, I think. Beehod Baby is she is that, Cash Me Outside. You know what I'm saying? Cash Me Outside. It's like before Venmo, they had Cash Me Outside. And she was on Dr. Phil. It's like Dr. Phil's stepdaughter or something. And she got angry at Dr. Phil, and they were fighting, and she was impersonating, kind of more of an urban girl type of vibe. Anyhow, I got to work with Bad Baby, and she's got a rap album out now. And she has there's a video coming out. She has a song called Trust Me. So let me tell you what happened for me. So a friend of mine is the director of the video, and he just did her last video, and it's called Gucci Flip Flops. And we'll put the links to them below. You can check it out. And mine is the one I'm in. The one I'm in isn't out yet, man. So I get a text from the director, and he's like, "Hey, would you be interested in doing this? Here's the link of the last one I sent." So I watched the last one. I'm like, wow. This thing has, it's got 50 something million views. It's cool looking. It's really artistic. It's funny. It's fun. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll definitely try this thing out. So, but first I read the script, right? And in the script, I play a pervert. I play a pervert, man. And if you don't know what a pervert is, say you're a masturbator. Say you like to masturbate, right? But say you don't, but say you now suddenly you take your show on the road. That's a pervert. Because a masturbator is somebody who masturbates at their house. A lot of, it could be a man or a woman. Some men like to spray out and ladies like to kind of more spray in. And a masturbator is somebody that does that, sprays out or in. But a pervert is somebody that's like, but you do that indoors. That's somebody who sprays out or in, but also indoors they do it. Inside of a domicile, in an igloo, under a hat. Some people, if they're, if you're stuck outdoors and you want to jerk off, some people back in the day, they would dig a hole and get down in, just get under all the dirt, put all the dirt back on top of them, and then jerk off down in the dirt, and that's old school. That's some 1900 shit, that's 1900 style. But but a pervert is somebody that instead of doing it behind closed doors, they go out and do it out and about, or they do it at a party, or they do it at a, quinceañera. Somebody blows out the candles and they're in the distance, warming up one more, they're in the distance, starting up a little cake of their own, and that's a pervert. And so anyway, the thing on there, it's like you have to play a pervert. And I'm like, what? And look, I'm not a pervert, man. I'm not a pedophile. I haven't never done anything like that. And I've babysat overnight. I've babysat overnight with my nieces and nephews countless times. And I feel eternally grateful and thankful that I don't have that infection, that disease, because that's a troubling disease, And we look at those people that have those types of things, and we say, man, it's so unfortunate for their victims, and it is. But it's also nobody's starting their life out choosing to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Choosing to wear a backpack made out of Satan, choosing to run around with the dark arts just flowing so strong inside of their veins that they almost would cut their wrist just to relieve themselves of the dark desires that they have. And so anyway, I got that, dude, next thing you know, I'm reading the script. I'm like, damn, there's a creepy guy in here. And then I get to the end and I'm like, oh, there's only really two people in it. Gup Baby and the creepy guy. I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm the creepy guy. I'm the pervert. So next thing you know, the director texts me. He's like, well, look, man, David Spade recommended you. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Because first of all, David Spade is one of my favorite entertainers of all time. I mean, the fact that, we have Chris Farley, a painting of Chris Farley up here in our studio, and the fact that he got to work with him, Black Sheep, Tommy Boy, what's the movie, I think he was in Sin of a Woman, I think, or something, I don't know, or he just gets a lot of pussy, you know what I'm saying? But I love David Spade. Oh, Joe Dirt, and people, and I thought Joe Dirt, a lot of people don't know this, I thought it was a documentary when I first saw it. And I remember when I finally got to interview David Spade, he came on Allegedly, which was a podcast that I've done with Matthew Cole Weiss for a while. And he came on to Allegedly, and he's like, and I was like, hey, did a lot of orphans reach out to you when Joe Dirt came out? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, and I explained to him, and he's like, dude, that's not a fucking documentary. He's like, you're an idiot. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, man. David Spade has called me an idiot. It made me feel good. But anyhow, so next thing you know, the director's like, well, why don't you get in touch with David Spade? And I'm like, I don't know David Spade's number. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I'm not just walking around with people like David Spade's number or people like, you know, who else? Chris Kringle, frickin' Rain Man, anybody else, dude? Wolverine, who the fuck does this guy think I am? You know? Katy Perry. I don't have just ultimate numbers in my phone. So he sends me David Spade's number. I'm like, oh, wow. What do I do with David Spade's number? So I'm like, well, I don't really call David. And I know David Spade through, we have a mutual friend, Adam Egget, who's the booker at the Comedy Store. And I know him through just seeing him in circles. And we chat sometimes a little bit. And I would consider us buddies, but I wouldn't say that we're really friends yet, you know, because we just haven't, I don't know him well enough. And, you know, it's that weird thing where like, I don't want to, I don't feel like I fanboy out around him or anything, but I am a fan of his work. So it's, you know, it's not uncomfortable, but it's you know, there's an admiration there that sometimes I get excited about. Maybe I can't hide. And he might be like, man, this is a fun conversation, but your cheeks are all flushed or your eyes are flickering while we're talking, you know, or you're erect. Like, what's going on, buddy? So, you know, sometimes I can't hide my, you know, just genuine excitement that God just sends out, just vibing out through my, you know, my eyelids or through even my crotch sometimes if I'm, you know, keyed up or excited. So next thing you know, I have David Spade's number and I call, it goes to voicemail, and then I get a call back. And this is, and so I'm like, well, what the hell? How do I stand up? Do I sit down? You know what I'm saying? Do I lay down? How do I answer the phone when David Spade calls? So, you know, I'm just trying to, like, I go outside. I was inside of a loud place and I'm like, I don't want him to think that I, you know, hang out in loud places, you know, like, I don't even know what the fuck I was thinking, dude. And then I was like, fuck, dude, I don't feel like I'm very tall, because I always have this thing in my head, like, I don't feel like because I am 6 feet tall, even though some people will say I'm not. And if you look at like old, you know, older, if you use like an old fucking ruler from a long time ago where they didn't really put that full inch in there, then yeah, then I definitely make it. But if you use kind of these newer rulers where things are a lot more, you know, certain, I kind of get there. And I think I get there. And some people say I don't. But I think I come in right at 6 feet, you know, and strong, that fucking, you know, I'm right there 5'11" and 7/8, dude. And if the wind blows upward, it'll fucking kind of pick me up just enough to get me at that 6 foot. But I always have these insecurities. You know, I have the insecurities of having that, you know, I have a limited neck. My neck doesn't go very far. And we've talked about that on here, and I talk about it a lot. You know what I'm saying? I can't really look around that much. So I have to either look forward or I have to turn around and then also look forward, which is behind me at that point because I turned around. And so next thing you know, man, I stand on a bench. There's a bench right there. So I'm like, well, fuck, I want to sound tall when I talk to David Spade on the phone, even though I already know, he already knows how tall I am, right? So next thing you know, I'm on the phone and he's like, he starts telling me about the video. And I said, well, look, I just, you know, I'm a little nervous. I don't want to be seen as like a pervert, you know? I don't want to be seen as a pedophile. And so he's like, nah, man. He's like, this is a chance for you to like act, you know, like you get to be funny a lot, but do you get to be, you know, creepy and dark? And I'm like, well, you know, I have I said, I've struggled over my life with, you know, masturbation and stuff like that. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, I don't know. And so then we kind of thankfully got out of that topic for a second. But I was trying to tell him that I've been into some dark arts or anything, you know, I've had some issues and addiction issues and stuff. But he's just like, look, this is a chance for you to play a creeper. You can be a creeper, and that's it. So next thing you know, I text the director and I said, I'm in. And 2 days later, I'm on set with Bad Baby. Let me look this shit up. I thought it was Beehod Baby, and then I thought, I was like, well, her fan base has to be called Beehod's Jihad, right? But it is bad. When I first saw it, I was like, is she a sheep owner? Yeah, Danielle Bragoli, that Beehod Baby, you know, Cash Me Outside. So anyway, next you know, I'm on set, and boom, there I am. And I'm on, it's like, and dude, it's a real music video. There's like smoke, and there's like a table in the distance with everybody eating orange slices and like fancy oranges, like oranges from fucking Sweden or Portland. And everybody's, you know, they have all kind of cashews and they have, people, they have some dudes walking around with radios and shit who aren't doing shit, but just, carrying around electronics basically. And it was, so next thing you know, I'm in this, dude, I'm playing a pervert. And I'm playing a pervert, and we did it. We did the whole video. And we did a night shoot, and it was wild. And then I came back 2 days later, and we did some pick-me-ups. So it's just going to be something that you're going to be able to. It was the craziest thing. Like, you would never think I would be in that, and then there I was, man. But the crazy part is, here's one of the weirdest things. So a couple of my friends knew about it, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to tell anybody about it, but. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do on here. We just say what's going on. And my buddies are texting me and they're like, hey man, that chick is so hot, bro. Set me up. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking? I'm playing a pervert, bro, because of guys like you. Because of guys like you, I'm here. And this is the role I'm in. So it was just intense, man. My buddies were like, set me up with her. I'm like, dude, I'm not setting you up with a child. Dude, there's law. That's called sex trafficking. That's called sex trafficking, man. So it's just, it's just wild. But then also, she gets, it's wild how we sexualize. I don't want to say that we sexualize children, but there's the industry, like, you'll put a young girl and have her look sexual, if they're developed, you'll have them look sexual. And I just start to wonder, like, I guess if somebody's is really a pervert, then they don't know when to say, okay, that is a child, or that's a kid, or that's legally not okay. And then, and then it is okay. Because that starting line is 18. So that's the starting line. But yeah, I guess that's the difference, is some people can't shut down that part of their brain where they want to, join they want to, coach children's softball or whatever, or that kind of stuff. Anyway, I don't know why I got into all that, but you can see me in a Bad Baby music video coming out. And look, I was so nervous, like, there's one part where I'm like, because she catches me and I'm like pinned down on this like Dexter style deal, and I'm like, fuck, and I'm like, and I even said to the director, I was like, dude, I just want to, like, I'm okay with, I said, just tell me this, tell me if I look like somebody who can't act trying to act. That's what I do not want to look like that. He's like, nah, man, you did a good job. And it was pretty crazy, man. It was just crazy. It was crazy to be in there. And people are like, well, what's Danielle Bergoli like? What's Bad Baby like? And I said, well, she's the Cash Me Outside girl, She, and that's who she is. And she's also a kid. She's a ninth grader. So when you talk to her, it's like talking to somebody in the ninth grade. But she definitely had a lot of swagger. She was definitely fun. She was fun to be around. She had a good sense of humor, I thought. Like, the second time we did pickup shots, which was last night or 2 nights ago, she made it like, it was easy to joke around and stuff with her. I mean, if anything, what I realized about myself was, that definitely, because I haven't been around a 15-year, I don't hang out around any people this age. And so, good, first of all, and it was just, I realized, like, oh yeah, these kids, this is another generation. They live in a world that I do not know about, and I am thankful that I don't know about it, and I'm thankful that I'm just here playing a pervert or pedophile today, just as an actor, and not suffering with that in my real life. And I'm grateful for that, man. Because I remember being in college. And I was in college, and I was at Louisiana State University. And we had a professor, and he came into class one day. It was like statistics or something like that, or something like that. And he comes in and he goes, statistically speaking, he's like, there's 800 people in here. It was first year. He goes, there's 800 students in here. Statistically speaking, 170 of you guys will get divorced. Statistically speaking, 40 4 of you guys will be in a lawsuit because you burned your arm at a Pizza Hut or something. And then statistically speaking, 2 of you guys will be convicted of pedophilia or something. And the second I heard that, I remember just standing up, dude, in the middle of that class and just saying, not it. That's what I said. I said, not it. And I made that line in the sand right in the sand. I made the line in the sand right then for myself that I wasn't going to sit around and let that roulette wall, that roulette ball of life just bounce and land wherever it wanted to on me. That I was going to stand up and say, not it today, professor. I'm not being a damn pervert for my life. Anyhow, so I'm going to be in a music video. And that's going to be it. I guess I'm a video vixen, they call them. Those girls that are popping their asses. Because sometimes you see these girls, I don't know if you've seen this on the internet, but the internet it's like your computer, but when you're not really doing any work, you're just fucking losing your mind and getting angry and looking at tits, basically, kind of tits. But they have these things called video vixens. And they just also have these big asses. And the asses don't even look like asses anymore. I'm surprised they look like big tits, big butt tits. And I'm surprised that some women don't get nipples installed on their asses. Think about it. Because then you got them big back titties, bruh. You got them rear tots. Now, if you motorboat those, dude, you might, you know what I'm saying? You might want to brush your teeth after. But they treat, the way they shake them, they have these rappers, they're kind of like, kind of darker musicians, kind of. And the way they shake the, or like, I don't want to say chocolatey musicians, but it's kind of at least, and Eminem, and I guess, but he doesn't even really get into it anymore. But you know what I'm saying? They have these asses that just shake. And it almost looks like people have Tourette's in their ass cheeks. But I think the next thing is, and I'm going to predict this, a future prediction, that you're going to start to see nipples get installed on people's butt cheeks so they can have that quad. They can be, them quad tots, bruh. Somebody, just titties in the front and, titties in the back. That hiney. Them freaking, them big hiney bags, them big hiney bags. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But they had, I'm gonna be a video vixen, but without the breasts and without the excitement, really. I guess. It's supposed to be kind of a dark video. It's kind of scary. It has that Dexter vibe. But anyhow, you'll be able to check that out soon. Thank you guys for joining us though this past weekend. Man, we got some great episodes coming up for you guys soon in studio. Dr. Drew, Whitney Cummings, who else? There's a couple others, some real good ones I don't want to tell you yet. Oh, Coco Diaz, but there's some special guests that I don't even want to announce just yet. But we always ask on here who's listening to this past weekend, so let's take a call that came in. Here we go.
What's up, Theo? This is Seth from Thibodaux, Louisiana.
What's up, Seth from Thibodaux, Louisiana? And I used to know a boy in my middle school. His family's from Thibodaux, and you're never gonna believe this. His name was Larry Pussy, and Pussi. And he had no shoulders really. And I don't know what this is called. I don't think it's like a disease or something. It's just, he was like a premature baby. I'm talking about Larry Pussy was the prematurest baby ever. And he was, dude, I'm surprised if he wasn't born at about 4 months, And it probably was easy to birth him. He just came right out. No shoulders on him. So it was just like chin into spine. And just his arms kind of sprouted off of the edge of his rib cage. It just kind of like a downward. He's almost built like a Christmas tree a little bit. And he was allergic to everything, man. He was allergic to everything. He had to have his he had a cousin or something who was kind of fatter a little bit. No offense if anybody's putting on weight, but this was a kid, and I don't even think that kid listens to this, and he was fatter. So, we've all got something. But he was fatter, and he had to carry an umbrella over Larry all the time because Larry couldn't get the sunlight. He couldn't get too much wind. He was always sneezing. I don't know if you ever seen anybody with no shoulders sneeze. Dude, you think they're going to die every time it happens. I mean, I remember watching him sneeze. One time it knocked him off his feet because when you don't have shoulders, you can't balance. And your shirt, he had to tie his shirt up around the top, or he'd put like, he'd have a shirt on, but he'd have it like, tied up back behind his, in his back, because there's nothing to hold your shirt. I mean, you're just... But yeah, boy, freaking Larry Pussy from Thibodaux, Louisiana. But anyhow, I know that's not you, and I appreciate you calling. Let's hear more, Seth.
On your way, man. I just really wanted to call and let you know I appreciate you, man. I got a girl, I got 2 stepkids, I got a baby on the way. I work at a machine shop. I work 12, 13 hours a day, 6 days a week, and, your podcast really helps me get through some of those days, man. I just wanted to call and let you know that, dude.
I appreciate that, man. Louisiana pride right there. I appreciate you calling, Seth, and I'm sure that your baby on the way, and your wife and your I think you said you have a stepdaughter, stepchild. I'm sure that they appreciate you, man. Even though they might not always, or they may always express it. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but you're, what I'm saying, you're taking care of your end of the deal. And there's something very admirable about that, and I hope you had a nice Father's Day, and you'll have that first Father's Day with your new baby next year. That's exciting. Dude, I used to work at a machine shop over there off of, across the river over in not in Metairie, where the fuck was that shit? Over in Algiers. And I was out there, and they had these pipes and like clevis, these clamps and clevis hangers and all of this shit, dude. And I don't know a lot of it because I got fired. But my job was to put glue on these pipes and put this rubber on them. So these clamps, so you could put a pipe in a clamp, because you can't just put metal on metal. You got to put a thing of rubber in there to protect it. So I'd be out in the sun putting glue on. And whenever the song, Dancey Little Stranger, Show Me Where You Been. I Just Wanna Fly. When that song would come on, all the people in the machine shop would shut down. They quit doing what they were doing, quit the welding. And me and the other glue boys, we had a couple of glue boys out there. We'd be out there in the sun, and they'd make us dance during that song. So we had to dance for these older men, which I think is definitely a little weird, because I was only 16. But there wasn't anything homoerotic about it or anything pedophilic. It was just natural. It was just people having fun, like kind of, it was something you would see in a fraternity, like the older guys make the younger guys do something, it's like a little bit of hazing. But one day, dude, we were a little bit hungover. We're out there with this, dancing with these glue brushes, and we started painting each other with glue. And you think that's fun, don't you? You think it's fun to paint your buddies with glue out in the hot sun, dude, until that shit starts to eat you up. And that shit starts to really, really eat you up. And my buddy, his belly button got a bunch of glue in it. And man, he had an infection for probably, let me see, maybe 1,100 days. So, but thanks for calling, Seth, and that's who listens to this podcast. Who else listens?
Hey, Theo, it's Tony from Buffalo, New York. I'm a prison guard. Gang, gang.
Tony, prison guard, dude. So you definitely have dug in some people's assholes for drugs, bro, and I respect that. People don't respect the stuff you guys do a lot of times. I used to be friends with J.P. Losman, who played for the Buffalo Bills a while back, and I got to go up there and watch a game one time at Ralph Waldo Emerson Stadium, I think it is, and we had a good time. Onward, Tony?
I just wanted to say, after a miserable, depressing week at work, it's like nothing better than coming home and listening to the podcast lift me up, get me out of that slump, bust a gut. I just wanted to say, growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends. And I looked at it as like I just had different levels of enemies, And I'm glad you can make me laugh, make me feel alive, and I appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate you, Tony. Thank you for that, dude, and thank you for your service. I'm sure they come down so hard on all these prison workers and these prison wardens, and prisons are the worst and this and that. And They never take into account that people work in there and people do their jobs. And there's people up there, you know, who are keeping these, you know, some dark artists, the darkest of, you know, I'm talking the Pablo Picassos of primordial paint, you know, and primordial is not the right word, but I'm talking about people that are Slytherin. I ain't talking about no Gryffindor daddies. I'm talking about some real Slytherin soldiers, man, the dark artists. And you're keeping them up in there caged up, and that's appreciated. But man, I want to listen to this line that you said one more time. And
Like
that was
nothing better than coming home and listening to the podcast, lift me up, get me out of that slump, you know, bust a gut. I just wanted to say, growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends. And I looked at it as like I just had different levels of enemies, you know?
wow. That's interesting, man. It's interesting to hear that. I didn't have friends. You know, I just had different levels of enemies. Because that really put that, man, it's so crazy you say that because I could feel that at certain points in my life. You know, I could feel me thinking, oh man, if, you know, like when you feel alone, this is interesting. When you feel alone, or for me, this is interesting. I'm not preaching at you. I'm listening to you, Tony, and I'm thinking based on some stuff you said. And when you feel alone, when I feel alone, and you too, Tony, it sounds like we then look at other people as enemies. Man, that really resonates with me because I feel like I did that a lot in my life. You know, and that's when you're alone, you feel that's when you have nobody and you don't have, and you feel like nobody has you. That's the thing. That's the thing about being alone. It's not that you feel like you don't have anybody. It's like you feel like nobody has you. And man, and I know especially when we're young, we can't even put it into words, but we can feel that. And I remember a lot as a child feeling that way. You know, just feeling like nobody has me. Nobody has me. And I really remember feeling like that. And then I look at everybody else as the enemy. You know, I don't have friends. I got different levels of enemies. The world hates me. There's a power out there greater than it all, or the greater power, whatever it is out there. This world hates me, and so therefore every person in it there are different levels of enemies. You know, when you grow up in an environment where your back is against the wall, or you go through a time in your life when your back is against the wall, man, you're so scared, you know, to be honest. You know, I think I was so scared. And I didn't know how to care about anybody. You know, nobody taught me how to care. But the one thing I did know was how to make sure I knew that person was they're an enemy. They may be the best, they may be my closest enemy. And those, you know, but they're out to get me, or they don't believe in me, or they don't want me, or I'm not good enough for them. Those are the things that I just attached to everybody. Even people that love me. Oh, they're my closest enemy. Because somewhere in my head, I just didn't have that trust. Somewhere in my heart, I didn't have that trust for others that would let me really, you know, embrace the care that they probably wanted to give me a lot of times. You know, and a lot of that comes from just fear. You know, when you grow up scared, or you go through times when you're scared. Man, that's a powerful statement, though, Tony. I appreciate you saying that. That, you know, I'd never thought of. I didn't have any friends. I want to hear that one more time, man. Sorry, I'm super forgetful.
Lift me up, get me out of that slump, you know, bust a gut. I just wanted to say, growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends. And I looked at it as like I just had different levels of enemies, you know? And I'm glad you can make me laugh.
You bet, man. I'm glad you can make me think, dude. You know, you sit up, you know, you send this message in today and you just called and hit the hotline and you made me think. And you made me think about that. I didn't have, because I couldn't have, if I said you were my friend and that was a weakness somehow. It was a weakness for me. Because all I knew how to be, I didn't know how to love. I just knew how to defend myself against people, I didn't know how to love. I just knew how to defend myself against people who probably wanted to care about me. Oh no, maybe that's all it is I didn't know how to love. I just knew how to defend myself. Like, it's almost like that was the only emotion that I had, was how to defend myself. And by pointing people out as enemies, or different levels of enemies, it was just an easy, organized way to defend myself immediately. Thank you for calling, Tony. I didn't mean to dwell into that too much, but I'm trying to think at the same time and trying to feel. You know, sometimes I don't like to think. I like to try and see what my feelings are telling me. Because for me, my brain is too... it's so infected these days, it's so influenced. There's so much going on that it's almost, I really have to try and get into my feelings and surf those a little bit. Almost like I'm like, if you see an old man on the beach, sometimes you see an old man on the beach, you know, and his wife is deceased, or she's up in the room and she's fucking probably eating edibles and fucking zoning out on, you know, and watching 60 Minutes backwards or something, and you know, just doing some wild, you know, low-key, crazy senior citizen style shit. But the man is out on the beach and he's looking for treasure. And he's out there and really all he's trying to find is some other bitches in the sand. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to find a portal. He's trying to find a portal that'll get him away from his wife. But you see that man, he's out there looking, he's waiting for that beep. And that's how I am sometimes when it comes to like my feelings. It's like I have to kind of talk until I feel like something like pings in me. And then when something pings in me, I'm like, oh, there's a watch in the sand right there. There's a, you know, a doubloon, or there's a rusty earring or something, or a piece of a railroad tie or something like that. There's something under my sand there. And I have to wait until I get that ping, and then I have to try and, you know, just keep moving the metal detector over that until I detect a little bit more of my feelings and try to figure them out. But thank you for that call, Tony. We had some follow-up calls about last week's titties. We had the gentleman with the 2 weeks ago, Jay, I believe his name was, Joey, Titty Joey, I think. And I'm sorry, I'm not calling you Titty Joey. I know that's not your name, and I'm not making fun of you. I'm just trying to summarize it so we can get through it quicker. But we'll have a few more responses to that. And I also want to tell you that I'm going to China. So, you know, me and Joe Rogan on his podcast were talking about what's the best hat to masturbate in. And we had some different types of hats. We went back and forth, and we eventually ended up at a Chinese type hat. Because, you know, if you squat all the way down, then you're in a small house, dude. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you're staying at a fucking little Howard Johnson almost. And so I'll be in China. I'll be in Shanghai, and you'll be able to come out and see some shows there. And those dates are July 12th, 13th, and 14th. I'll be at the Swiss Grand Hotel in Xiamen, and then I'll be at Cage's Sports Bar in Shanghai on the 13th, and one more show on the 14th in Shanghai as well. You can go to theovon.com/tour and find out. Other cities I'm coming to. This Tuesday, June 26th at 8 p.m., I'll be at the Hollywood Improv. I'm running my pretty much like an hour. I'll be doing about an hour. I'm going to be there with some surprise guests. I'm not telling you who yet. Then I'll be in Wyoming, Illinois, Oxnard, California, China, Raleigh, North Carolina, Minneapolis, Chicago, Nashville, Toronto, Appleton, Buffalo, and Salt Lake City. All those are available at theovon.com/tour. TOUR. All right, we have some cool calls that came in. Let's get into a couple of these, man. You know, we do on here, you can hit the hotline whenever. If you have a question, a concern, a feeling, a fear, anything. You know, this is a joint effort that we do here. And that number is 985-664-9503. Every month we give out a prize pack to somebody who has the best or worst weekend. You just have to call and share it with us. Don't share any freaking boring weekends. It has to be great or bad. So here are two of those. Onward.
Hey, Theo. It's your boy Cooter over here in Idaho.
Wow, Cooter. That's crazy, dude. And I was just telling you about Larry Pussy. What? And you're saying now people are being like, oh, God don't exist. God don't exist? So then I was talking about LP, and then Cooter calls. Come on. Get in there. Onward.
So I'm calling to do your little, your best weekend, worst weekend deal. Saturday was my birthday. Sunday was Father's Day. So I have this lady in my life, you know, I've known her for about 8 years. We've been dating now for 6 months on Sunday. On Father's Day was our 6-month deal.
Happy anniversary, man, or half anniversary, onward.
Saturday we wake up, she makes me breakfast, open some presents. She got me like almost the whole damn Packer store, the whole fucking store.
Wow, dude, there's nothing better than a man just dressed head to toe in green and gold. You know what I'm saying? When you see that man, you see a man just doused up in Green Bay Packers, green and gold, you look at that man and you say, yeah, dang, that guy is a pervert. More?
A Green Bay Packer fan. She got me a bunch of shirts, hat, cooler. She got me a Devontae Adams jersey.
Oh, dude, so she's definitely making sure that no other chicks are going to hit on you with these, with all of this shit. Let's hear more. If anything, a couple dudes might molest you for that cooler. More? Cooter with a cooler? Come on.
Then we went golfing, sitting there golfing. You get ready to putt, get the ball up there, and you sit there, you yell out, get in there. Then we came home and, had dinner and whatnot, and had friends come over and had my kid and whatnot for Father's Day. And then, the icing on the whole cake, this woman went out, bought herself a Packers shirt, and ended up having sex with me in the Packers shirt, and then yell out at the very end, "Go Pack, go."
Wow, she yelled out, "Go Pack, go" at the end of the whole thing. Man, that is, you know what? I'll say this is an old-fashioned men's weekend, and it's a good one. When that's a good one, you know what the coolest thing about that is that she just cared. She cared that much, man. She doused you up in all that green and gold. She's like, nobody's coming after him. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like an Irish jaundice woman. You know what I'm saying? On St. Patrick's Day, unless it's a jaundice lady on St. Patrick's Day. Nobody's going to come after this green and gold creature that I'm putting together. And then y'all had some friends come over, and then she sent the friends home. That was just a ruse. And then she put on a special shirt. She put on a shirt that represented a bunch of men playing sweaty sports out there, and you guys did it and yelled, "Go Pack, go" at the end. And you know what I say? Take that, fucking Minnesota Vikings. There you go. That's beautiful, man. Thank you for sharing about that weekend. I'm glad you had a nice time. It sounded like you some dreams kind of came fulfilled right there for you, and that you guys might have a bright future, dude. Because if it's just those little things that can make you happy, somebody expressing that love, and y'all getting a little bit of sex out there, some nighttime sex and doing sex with each other. Come on, that's beautiful. Get in there. Okay, let's take a second call right here. Here we go.
Hey, Theo, it's Nick from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Nick, thank you for calling into this past weekend. Onward.
I'm down here in Tampa, Florida on business for a while.
Dude, you in Florida on business? What you doing, dude? Drug muling? You in Florida on business, huh? What you doing, boy? Slanging ivory? Huh? You smuggling fucking baby bones? What you doing down there? Florida on business, man.
Decided to go hit up one of these beach bars. While I was there, a little husky girl walked over to me, said she liked my shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's that husky line right there. I like that shirt more.
All right, I had a little bit of that liquid courage, decided, let's swap shirts.
Ooh. Bro, that's a creative line there. Let's swap shirts. Because if at least one of y'all somebody's gonna take their shirt off, and then somebody might not, but then at least one of you already have your shirt off, so that's a start. That's a start for love right there. And then what a great idea. It's kind of fun, it's creative. You could play music while you're doing it, and the last person to get the shirt on loses or something, like musical shirts. Let's hear more.
Boom, swapped the shirts. About a half an hour later, she came back. She said, let's walk down to the water. Walked down to the water. She popped her finger in my mouth.
Ooh, that finger in the mouth, huh? Ooh. That's that dummy check, boy. That's that dummy check.
What do I know? It's one of those juicy strawberry edibles.
Oh, she put that candy in you. She put that candy in your face, boy. She's treating you like a drug mule, but up front. Because a lot of things, that's a fucking dope suppository. Some people, when I was young, used to put dope in your ass, If you wanted to do drugs fast, but you were busy, you had to go to work, or you had to babysit, or you had to, run a marathon or whatever, you put a little drugs in your ass. And now people are putting drugs straight into their mouth. They're eating it all. Let's hear more.
Gave it a little time to set in. Had a good night. That's my weekend. Gang, gang.
Gang, gang, dude. You out there meeting some husky girls out there. You get out there getting in that Iditarod, boy. Couple of huskies, a little bit of shirt swapping, hiding candies in each other's mouths, dummy checking each other's tongues. You know what I'm saying? Those upfront suppositories, and bam, you guys are finding love. And I love that. Thank you for calling in. Those are 2 great submissions for the weekend and what's going on and how your weekend was, if it was the best or the worst. You can submit yours, 985-664-9503. Okay, we had a couple calls that came in response again to that man titties. People called in about the man titties, a few more responses, and some follow-up. Let's get into it.
Theo, Kevin from New Jersey.
Thank you for calling, Kevin from Jersey, boy.
Calling about the guy that called up with the man titties.
Oh, yeah. That's that baby. That's that beautiful bad boy, man. That's tits past weekend. More?
And then the other guy calls up and tells him it's okay, or that nobody's better than him, or anyone's better than, and it's just okay, and just accept it. It's not okay. If you're a man, you're not supposed to have titties. It's about discipline. And if he's okay with it, that's fine. Nobody's better than him. But what the fuck, man? Don't say, yeah, it's okay to have tits and celebrate being fat. You're fucking fat. If you got tits, look in the mirror. There's probably other parts of your body that are fucked up too.
Well, some people might have fat dick, because I had a man dick even when I was a child. I remember at 6 years old, people would come around to see my dick, And it wasn't like I was and they weren't pedophiles. They were just like, wow, that kid's really carting around some cock, But, I mean, you said this, that it's not disciplined, but how disciplined is it this way? Look, I mean, how disciplined is it to have man breasts, okay? Then to not lose your shit every time somebody says something about it. To me, that's discipline. I mean, there's a couple disciplines you can have. Yeah. If he's overweight and he's not taking care of his weight, then, or his weight is, some people's weight is all different. You know what I'm saying? People come in all types of weights. I knew a man, he was like 600 pounds. You couldn't even see his head or anything. His shoulders came up over his head. And so if you had to pull back some of his front and hear him if he said something, you had to pull down you had to pull part of his body down and listen for, some clues from him. But but here's the thing, if you're not handling your weight in a way that keeps you fit and you have these breasts, you got these you got these chesticles, then what about this though? That's one thing. You didn't handle the discipline there, or you were unable to. But then if people are ripping you up, people are making fun of you, but you don't let that get to you, you stay that course, you know where you're at. Now that's another discipline. Now we're talking you're that fucking titty samurai at that point, because you're able to keep that focus, bro. You're able to keep that focus and know that the bigger picture, and know that you were headed in a different direction. And it doesn't matter what these other people say. So there's other types of discipline. So we're not also telling him that it's okay, but if he's hurting from it, then yeah, I'm going to tell him it's okay. If somebody's hurting from it, because there's one thing like to be in a mode where it's like, I'm going to be healthy and I'm going to get myself healthy, right? But then if you're not there yet, you're still at the point where you're kind of hurting from it, then that's a different space. You can't tell somebody who's really hurting, you can't tell them, hey, you need to fucking get in shape. You have to tell them first, you have to first try and be there for them while they're hurting. Get them to a level where they're not hurting, and then I think you can try to work on more of the actual physical aspect of it. I think anyway. I don't know. Now at the same time, dude, I respect the tough love angle. I respect that, we can't tell everybody, oh, you can't say, oh, everything, everybody, you don't have to take care of yourself, you don't have to do this. But I think also that this man, and I'm not knocking you down, bro. Look, I respect you got that Jersey pride. You know what I'm saying? You guys have done a lot of shit out in Jersey, dude. That's cattle country, bro. I was raised on milk, dude. I remember actually, we were talking about the Green Bay Packers a minute ago. We used to go out there and eat mushrooms out there. Brett Favre is from Kiln, Mississippi. When I was young, we would go out there, we'd drive out there, and we would put on Green Bay Packer jerseys, and we'd run around out in the fields and fucking eat mushrooms, and get by the cows, and get the dairy cows, and fucking spray hot milk in each other's fucking faces, bruh. And that's, you want to see the Lord? You want to fucking feel Jesus walk up and down the bridge of your nose, bruh? You know what I'm saying? You want to feel Buddha fucking tickle your neck nuts? That's your Adam's apple. Look, then you get out there, spray hot milk on each other in the home of Brett Favre while you got on a Brett Favre jersey and you's out there on mushrooms, you know, while you out there on Poseidon's favorite vegetables. You out there on them boomers. You hopped up on boomers, and next thing you know, you spraying warm milk on each other. Go Pack, go. But yeah, so sometimes it's like, yeah, sometimes you got to do the tough love, but sometimes you got to get somebody in a place first where you could get them the tough love. But let's hear the rest of your call, and I do appreciate your call. Let's hear more.
And I called before, but that's like you said, this is how we do it in Jersey. We keep it real.
It's true, you guys do. And look, I'm glad we have this element in the world because we need it. Look, out here, nobody keeps it fucking real. Out here, everybody, man. Look, it's like, say a baby's born premature. They want to have everything in the world suddenly be premature. They want to make everybody around the baby premature. No, we got to think about the common good. You know, we have to think about the common good. That's the thing. What's the move we can make right now that's going to be the best for everybody? You know, we got to think about the common good. Let's hear more.
And that's it, man. No man titties. What's better? To have man titties or no man titties? What's better? 99.9% of people say no titties. So for the homeboy that called and said, it's okay to have tits, nobody's better. Yeah, if you ain't got tits, you're better. Anyway, love you, man. Later on.
Love you, bro. I appreciate the call. And look, I respect that point of view. You got to have that tough thing sometimes, you know? But I do think in this guy's condition, I don't think it's that he wasn't taking care of himself or trying to. I think that he has something like not a deformity, you know, but like we had this boy in my class. He was in a fire. This boy Sherman, and he had those fucking he had real big eyelids, you know. It looked like nut sacks kind of hanging over his eyes, and so, you know, that's not the same thing as saying, hey, you got fat eyelids. That's different. When he had extra skin up there, he had like, God put like little bits of nutsack like in where his eyelids were. But let's hear more calls that came in for our boy on the breasts, man. And I want to get that correction out. The gentleman's name is Jeff that called in, Jeff Toy. And Jeff, we're talking about the breasty Jeff. And I'm sorry, Jeff, for, you know, saying your name was Joey earlier. I didn't know it, man. I just was guessing, and I wasn't super I'm not, you know, nobody's been a good guesser in my family. Let's hear another call that came in for you, though, Jeff.
Well, hey there, Mr. Theo Vaughn. This is Bethany out here in Sacramento, California.
Hey, Bethany, I was just in Bakersfield last night, one of your semi-neighboring cities, and had a great time out there, man. I mean, so many good people. You know, there's so many good people out in our country, man. And, you know, and it was predominantly the fans that came out were predominantly Mexican and white that came through. But just great. You know, I wish I was drawing more of a diverse audience. I don't know if it exists there that much. I know that the area in Bakersfield is heavily Mexican and white. But it was just great, man. It was awesome, dude. I just felt so grateful. Let's hear more.
And I'm calling in regard to the man titties. So you can either have man
She said it this time, Jeff. I didn't, but let's hear more.
titties by being overweight, right? Which they're not actual titties. It's just fat. But then there is a condition, a hormonal medical condition called gynecomastia. I think it's pronounced like that.
Oh, you got that gynecomastia. And I thought that was something else, dude. I thought that was when, you know, a lady kind of, I don't want to say this, kind of sits on your face and you can't breathe that good. Let's hear more.
Where men have actual breast tissue, actual mammary gland, not just fat. Like, you know, it's like a female breast, right? And no
Oh, yeah, that tit.
amount of exercise is going to get rid of that. It's a medical condition. It's hormonal. They need to see a doctor about it if they're worried about it. But, I mean, maybe you just want to rock the titties. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
And that's what I'm saying, is that like, and I think that that's what Jeff has. Jeff has them medical tits. You know what I'm saying? He could do 1 million workouts, you know? I mean, you know, you could put him on 1 million workouts. He might lose 70 pounds, but he's still going to have these tits, dude. And, you know, what are you going to do then? Then you got him. He's almost disappeared. He weighs 70 pounds. He could barely lift his neck up because he's been running so long and working out. But he's still got these fucking front bags. And is that the move? I don't know if that's the move, you know? But thank you for calling. That's that gynecomastia that he has. And so, look, that's a condition. And then at that point, that's what I'm saying is that's when I'm coming to Jeff and saying, hey, look, man, if you got him and you can't afford the surgery, you're not doing the surgery, you don't want to cut into your body, you want to rock that body, you want to straight up Justin Timberlake your life like the Lord set you out, then what can you do? You fucking put glitter on them. You know what I'm saying? You could snickerdoodle them bitches, put them in cinnamon and sugar and show them off at the fucking beach, you know? I mean, there's different things. Then you have to embrace them and use them. And that's called onward. Let's hear more.
Hey, what's up, Theo? This is Travis from Austin, Texas, calling in.
What's up, Travis? You have a beautiful city down there, man. Onward.
I hope you're doing good, man. I'm just looking forward every Monday to listening to your show. Just wanted to tell you that off the top.
Thanks, man. You know, it's funny. It's weird. Like some days I come in here and I'm really nervous and some days I'm just confused. And, you know, like this weekend, I just had a long weekend, man. Like there's a lot of like just career stuff is happening right now. And it's just, you know, and honestly, man, I got in and I was like, you know, I did not want to do it, but I was just tired. You know, I was just tired today. And then, but then I get into these calls and stuff and I go through the voicemails and I'm like, man, you know, I'm so lucky, to like be a part of like this little universe, you know? And we're going to do some really cool stuff. Dude, we just did this first stand up for single moms. It's on YouTube right now. You can go watch it. It was Julie and this beautiful single mother out in West Siloam Springs, Oklahoma. And we're going to do one for some different cities. You can go there and find out how to submit a single mom that you know. And we took her out on the 10 minutes. She had fun and we did a follow-up call. And but check out that video, man. It was really cool. But we're gonna be doing some neat stuff. And so I'm thankful for you calling. Let's hear more.
But I was calling in response to Jeffrey with the tits.
Man, there's no kind of casual way to say it. But it's great, man, because you know what you feel? We're not making fun of him, man. You feel that we're having fun with him more.
I had that when I was younger too, man. And it was very pronounced. And man,
oh yeah, man. You got them pronounced sacks, dude. And look, I tell you, man, the first pair I ever saw was on my boy. And I used to sleep over at his house, man. Just to feel my body get fucking rushing when I saw him, bro. You know, my body gets all rushing and all the blood runs, you know how I get. Onward.
It caused a lot of self-consciousness, obviously, you know, because my chest didn't look the way it was supposed to and shit like that. But,
man, I appreciate you sharing that, dude. That's like Sherman, bro. They call him nut eyes. People call him nut eyes, bro. Or he had fucking almond eyes, you know, if they didn't want to say nut. If they said it too many times and it was kind of losing its steam, they call him almond eyes, you know, or nut sack eyes. More?
when I was calling in, I eventually had the surgery to remove that gynecomastia, is what the technical term is called. And it did a lot for me. So I'm just encouraging Jeffrey. Seems like he has a good attitude. But also, I know for me, that surgery helped me to become kind of the person that I was envisioned in my head of who I was, who I wanted to be. And it just, you know, I thought it was a great thing for me. So maybe he want to go that route because there's really nothing you can do. I was running and exercising, doing a lot of working out to try to get rid of it. And it just didn't, it's not something you can get rid of through exercise. So Anyway, I hope this has been helpful, man. Love you, Theo. You need to come down to Texas, come down to Austin, or even San Antonio is close enough. Thanks, man.
I will, man. Thank you for calling. I appreciate that. And no shade back to our New Jersey guy. Look, it's, you know, sometimes people need to hear this thing. Sometimes they need to hear this thing, and whoever knows what it is. And we don't know Jeff in person. We don't know Jeff Tit or Titman or whatever you want to say. We don't know him. So we don't know exactly what he has, but we feel like maybe he got this gynecomastia, you know what I'm saying? And he's running around, looks like somebody, you know, tied a couple nut sacks to the front of his sternum. And so, you know, at that point, what do you do? And all we can do now is, you know, and there you have some information that if he wants to get the surgery, that it helped this young man. You know, it helped him feel better. And that's Travis right there. Or, and it helped him feel better. And so that's one option. You know, Jeff, if you're out there, I don't know what that costs. You know, I'd say that we try to pay for it here from this past weekend, but I don't know if we definitely don't, I don't think have money for a dang surgery, dude. But if you end up getting into something like that, you know, or something, reach out to us. We'll be in touch, man. I'll reach out. I want to follow up with you and just see what's going on, dude. I just had my hand on my nuts for like a little while and I forgot, didn't even realize it, and almost just smelled it. So you always have to be on guard against your own self. That's crazy that you have to be on guard against your own self. Let's hear some other calls that came in. This is a follow-up. Here we go.
Hey, Theo. It's Brian from Ocala, Florida. Just wanted to call in reference to the 24-year-old girl who was struggling with depression a little bit.
Oh, yeah. She called in last week and she talked about when was a good time to start taking antidepressants or what experience I'd had with that. Let's hear more, Brian.
I have two little pieces of advice. First one is really just talking about it with somebody. It usually kind of eases my mind if I have somebody, you know, that I love, that, you know, I know loves me. The second thing, which, you know, sometimes I like to smoke a little bit of weed at night, 'cause, you know, I get depression too. And whenever I smoke weed, it kind of erases it out of my mind. So.
Man, you know what's so funny is, you know, is that I would do that. I used to do that sometimes. And my anxiety sometimes would flare up, but my depression would go away. I would not feel depressed when I was on weed, man. Every movie was good. Even though I'd be halfway through the movie, I have no fucking clue what was going on. Dude, I didn't know if it was Dances with Wolves or King Kong. I didn't have any idea. But it was good, man. You know, I didn't know if it was Bridge to Terabithia or if it was Thank You for Smoking. You know what I'm saying? I never knew. I never had any idea what was going on. I didn't know if it was Incredibles or if the television didn't work. You know, I didn't have any idea what was going on sometimes on that weed. But it did take away my depression. But for me with anxiety, it made it sometimes worse. But that is an option. So there's two options you got right there. Let's hear a little more from you, Brian. Here we go.
Oh, that's definitely something that helps me. I know not everyone smokes and not everyone can smoke, but so if she smokes or anything, you know, that would be something I would recommend anytime you start feeling like that.
Nope, there you go. Thank you very much for that. Let's get another follow-up suggestion here. I think in the same vein here to our depression caller from last week. Onward.
Hey, aloha, Theo. I hope you can hear me all right. This is Brad calling from Maui.
Ooh, we got that freaking pineapple bad boy, huh? We got that freaking guava cat daddy out there, dude. You got one of them, you got that, one of those sandcastle Benedict Arnolds out there, bruh. Somebody who's, you know, alleviated from the States, who's left us and moved out there into the beautiful areas of Maui. Beautiful. If you've never been to Hawaii, you've never been to Maui, Kauai, and you're thinking about flying somewhere, Spain or damn Iceland or something, go to Hawaii. It's great. More?
I'm sitting in a bulldozer all day listening to you guys. But this is really important. I just heard the girl and you were talking about Zoloft. And I want to pass on that for a percentage of people, the SSRIs, for me, I was on it for a few years and it turned me into a raging alcoholic. And I couldn't stop and I lost everything because of it. And it took 3 years to figure out that it was a Zoloft. There's a book called Driven to Drink and it's written by a doctor about some antidepressants, and it was Zoloft that did me wrong.
Wow, so there you go right there. I appreciate you calling there, Brad, I believe, yeah. And so I guess, you know, you should be careful, and this is with any drug. You know, you should be careful. Let's hear a little more, Brad.
I lost a multi-million-dollar business, my family. Had temporary restraining orders against me because I was just freaking pissed off. I could drink like 25 beers a day without slurring and walk straight and no hangover. I heard you say that you would drink gin. It's a true thing for a percentage of people, and it really needs to get out there. They put hundreds of, make you crap your pants, make you die, all these things they put as side effects that they never put can cause heavy drinking or can cause alcohol cravings.
Yeah, and there you go. And that's that right there. Yeah, and there you go. There's a warning from firsthand that sometimes you need, no matter what drug you're doing. I don't care if you're having fucking jelly beans, okay? Read the label. Because 1 out of 7 jillion people, if they have the green ones, then they're going to fucking pull their legs off their own body. Or they're going to hide cigarettes in their asshole or something. Things have side effects. So you need to know what you're getting into before. But some of those side effects they might not tell you about. So you need to do your own searches. Because think about this. These drug companies, they probably only have to tell you if those, say if they try a drug on 100 people. And in 7 of those people, they have diarrheas, and that's where poop is just trying to get out of your body faster than usual. You got that fucking Carl Lewis in your ass, and so 7 people, then they have to put it on the label as a warning. Okay, could cause diarrheas. But say if only 2 people, nope, then they don't have to put it on the label. There's probably like an FDA thing where if a certain number of 100 people it affects, it does that thing, then they have to put it on. But there might be 6 people out of 1,000, it makes them fucking, start juggling or, whistle when they see their stepmother or something. But as long as that's not, 6 out of 100, then they don't have to put it on the label. So sometimes you need to do deeper searches because they're all running on requirements. They're just seeing how close they can get. Can they keep it just under enough people where they have to label it as a warning? And there you go. That gentleman right there lost it all doing Zoloft. And look, I'll tell you this, dude, I would drink a bunch of gin on Zoloft. And I'd fuck, bro, I could masturbate and do sex. And dude, I could come out over a windowsill. I could do all kinds of wild things. And that was just part of my life at the time, and that was over in Charleston, South Carolina. I used to live over there on King Street, and I had a good time over there, and I was sharing a room with a bunch of, with some local people who were on the sailing team, and they were sailors. And that's people who, they don't want to swim, but they still want to fucking be out on the water. Okay, let's get another.
Hey, Theo, this is Paul from New Hampshire. I'm just taking my lunch break, and I wanted to call and give some advice to the rollerblader.
Thank you, Paul from New Hampshire. That's syrup country. Syrup and winter coats. So you can be sticky and warm over there, and that's beautiful. More?
Look, bro, people are going to make fun of you for nothing. You have no control. So just have fun. Do you. Doesn't matter. Life's too short to not do what you like doing. No, because I wasn't doing it for a long time.
And we had a gentleman call in last week, and he was a rollerblader, and he didn't want to admit it. And I think it's definitely taking the easy way out a little bit because you should walk. But if you want to just wheel on over there and show up, like some kind of fucking damn wizard, then that's your thing. But like he's saying, if you like to do something, you go ahead and do it. Man, I like to scrapbook. Do you know what I'm saying? I used to be that bad boy with the glitter and the glue gun, son. And you think, oh, that's lame, that's gay, that's this, that's that, that's soft, But guess what? You know how many bad bitches wanted to come over and see daddy work that glitter stick, work that glue stick, work that freaking yarn ball? Oh, love 'em. Let's hear more.
And, I do weird shit. I ride a scooter with a motor, not one of those fruitcake Brennan Schaub ones. But, people don't like it, but they usually keep it to themselves. So.
That's true, man. Yeah, if you wear a scooter with a motor on it, that's a little more French. That's still kind of French. But Brennan Schaub does that one with no motor, man. Can you imagine seeing big Brendan Schaub pushing his heavy ass down the street? You know what I'm saying? All hopped up on bee stings. He's got honey hanging off his ass cheeks. And he's just heavy legging down the street on a scooter. And that's Big Brennan Schaub out there. On their scooter. But look, we make fun of him, but at the same time, man, if that makes him happy, then scoot, scoot, Big Beezy, scoot, scoot. Thank you for calling. Let's hear, we had a couple of calls that came in. Let's get into one right here.
Hey, what's up, Theo? I'm Rodrigo. I'm also a mailman, like that guy that called in earlier last week. And I'm actually...
He's a mailman. Thank you for calling in, Rodrigo, that mailman. And we had another mailman calling last week. A lot of people out there, getting postal out there in the world, and I appreciate it. And also what's amazing is I can hear dogs in the background, man. That's so perfect. Thank you for calling, Rodrigo.
Got a little pickle here. I deliver out in Las Vegas in this fucking blazing heat. And I deliver in the rich part of town. And last week, an older woman confronted me and wanted to... she wanted to have sex with me in exchange for money.
Ooh, Rodrigo. Suddenly your name just goes from Rodrigo to Rodrigo. You that FedEx, boy. They trying to get you to package it up.
And she's very wealthy, and I don't really know how I feel about that. I was wondering if hopefully maybe you could give some advice. I don't really know what to tell my girlfriend or my parents or, I don't know what they would think of me.
Well, here's what I would do. I would say, well, what will you think of yourself? What will you think of yourself if you do it? Do you need some excitement in your life? It's not a love thing. So if your wife found out, what kind of relationship do you guys have? If you told your wife, look, some lady, she want to drop me a couple, with Jeezy, don't fuck for less than 700. She want to, drop me a Jeezy to get out there, maybe your wife might be supportive, might spice up y'all's relationship. Maybe you talk to them about it. Take a family vote. Have them all vote blindly like they do on Big Brother. Attention, house guests. Rodrigo might fuck. And see what they think, Have everybody put their 2 cents in. Make it a fun family thing. If you're worried about hiding it, then you're opening up to everybody. And they're not going to judge you, man. You're out there doing good work. You know what I'm saying, man? It's like you're out there doing good work, doing mail. And so I'd see what they want. Or if it's your own thing, you keeping it to yourself, you want to do something a little secret to spice up your universe, man. I used to watch them. I used to be afraid to tell people that I watched the movie with Meryl Streep's in it. And the movie with Meryl was Bridges of Madison County. And it's about a lady. She has a good life. But one weekend she gets that hoorah in her. You know what I'm saying? She gets some wild photographer cock. And she takes some hits off of that Kodak man's baby bird, And it's exciting. And it's she never goes to, any fancy countries or does any amazing, not amazing. She's a mother. And that's the most powerful thing you can be in the world. You basically, your uterus is the damn, that's the Wizard of Oz right there. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. That's the most powerful instrument in the world. People talking about, the new operating system iOS ain't got nothing on that VAG. And so, she just had to have that weekend. Meryl Streep had to have that weekend where she just found some pleasure, where she did something just to have her own little, she needed, she had her life was filled with stars, but she needed to, she needed to fucking put something special, sparkly that was just for her out there in the world. She had to just she had to plant her own little North Star up there, She had to undo Orion's belt a little, And sometimes you have to do that for you. So you decide, man, that's your decision. If you open it up to the family, then that's their decision. But you decide for you, man. You decide. Onward, man. Thank you for calling in and good luck out there, man, if y'all fucking out there and doing mail. And look, if I walked in on a mailman fucking, more power to him. If dogs are chasing you all day at your job, you should be able to fuck a little. Think about that. Because this man out there got dogs after him. Imagine if you work at Charles Schwab or CBS Studios or, you know, wherever else, Nabisco or something, you are CEO or Wall Street. Imagine trying to get your day trading done when you got a fucking Doberman after your ass. And I'm saying some people have it rougher. Amen, brother. Thank you for calling in and hitting the hotline. Let's take another call here. Here we go.
Hi, Theo. This is Bridget from Canada, and I just had a question with regards to celebrities DMing.
Oh, thank you for calling, Bridget. Celebrities DMing, it's very interesting. Let's hear about your question.
I recently got a celebrity, a known stand-up comedian, not you, of course, that DM'd me and wanted some dirty pictures and to chat more and exchange numbers. I do think he's attractive, but I don't know if I should get back to him or not. I'd like to know your thoughts. Let me know. Thanks.
Oh, wow. Thank you for calling, Bridget. So you had a comedian reach out to you, and he was talking about the dirty pictures. Man, I hope, honestly, that this wasn't me, and this isn't, this wasn't me, but I just... party's always scared. But anyhow, thank you for calling, Bridget. What do? I think, here's what I think about dirty pictures. I mean, don't ever include your face in a dirty picture. If a guy asks you for a dirty picture or a girl asks you for a dirty picture, don't include your face. They look, they want you, but at that time they're keyed in on crotch. You know what I'm saying? They're not thinking photography, they're thinking crotchtography, They're thinking crotchtography. And they want to see that tit or they want to see that nipple, Or if it's our boy Jeff Toy, they want to see them freaking straight up, them milky nut sacks, They want to see it all. So that's it. Don't ever include your face no matter what you do. And then after that, it's up to you. You want to have some fun on your phone and send out a picture of some wazzy? Go on. Do your thing, girl. But just take pride in whatever you do. If you can. I mean, I suggest meet him in person. Show him that thing from a couple feet away. I don't know how healthy it is. Just because when you start just getting that and that's what you want, then it gets a little squirrely. I think if you're the guy who's asking for that, send that. Because then I'm not thinking about you at all. I'm just thinking about this thing. And that's, it's natural, but is it healthy? Only you know. But if it's a comedian, I wonder who it is, too. Of course I wonder who it is. I mean, it's only like about 9 decent-looking comedians. So, onward. Let's hear another call that came in. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, Yvonne? This is Albert from California. And I'm calling because they say you're a reflection of the 5 people you're closest to. And recently, my 5 closest people, I've kind of pushed away because I kind of don't want to be around in that type of lifestyle anymore.
Okay, if you're a reflection of your 5 closest people and you recently pushed those people away because you don't want to be in that lifestyle anymore. Okay, more?
I just want to know your thoughts and any advice you might have for finding new people to empower yourself and finding like-minded people. If you ever had to put yourself in that position. And yeah, I love your show.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for the call. When you have to get into a new place and you have to find new people to spend time with, I mean, for me, moving has always done that. When you move to a new place, you end up, necessity creates things for me. Like I know if I don't keep a certain level of struggle in my life, then I will not, I won't work as hard. I know that if I make things too easy, then I don't shine then. I don't shine, I don't work hard, I don't try when I don't have a certain level of uncomfort, when I don't have a certain level of struggle. And I know you're wondering, well, how does this work into what I'm talking about? Well, sometimes you have to put yourself into, like, a new situation can cause that. That's what I'm saying. So if you move yourself into, like, geographic, you do a geographic. You actually move to a new place. What else? Church is something. You know, people want to, bag on religion or whatever. Whatever, dude. Yeah, as long as you're not out there fighting wars against another country because you think your religion's better than theirs, that's really the shitty part. But if you're just church to meet people, get to know people, feel a connection to a higher power, and that can be any denomination you want, man. You can be, Allah, Yiddish, fucking crystal ball, Jesus Christ, whoever you want to find, whatever bad boy out in the sky you want to find, or bad baby out in the sky you want to find, go get her. Mother Nature, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be christened by that big vajach, that big, Mother Nature, that big sky vagina, whatever you want to believe in, like the Native Americans, whatever you want to believe in. But a higher power can become that for you. You also don't have to have that. You could believe in witchcraft. Okay, you could go for that. But church, sports, some type of a sports, and that sport can be Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, that sport can be anything. For me, what changed some of my circle of friends and humans was a 12-step program. And I'm not trying to push you towards Alcoholics Anonymous or push you towards a 12-step program of any sort. But my problems, I choose to not do drugs and alcohol. I don't know if I'm an addict sometimes, but I do know that the benefits of that program, the friends I've met, the way that I think about myself now, and the environments that I'm in now constantly because of that program, I know that those are worth giving up the drugs and alcohol. So it's, for me, that's like a ticket to the show. Okay, what is the ticket price? The ticket price is drugs and alcohol. I don't use them. That's my payment. Okay, you can have those. You can have that ticket price. Now the show is I get new friends, more self-esteem. I get processes to help me work out my problems. I know you're not asking for all that. You're just asking, if I let go of this group of friends, how do I find a new group? But I'm telling you fast action ways that can help. What else? Yoga. Get in a fucking now here's a small thing you could do. You can get into it, start a text chain with some other people you know around town. Start back with your family, work on those relationships if you can. And also get outdoors. Don't stay indoors. Darkness is darkness, man. And we say it, we hypothesize it a lot, but darkness is darkness. If you're in the dark, you're in the dark. So get outdoors, find the sun. Do some volunteer work, man. Volunteer work, helping somebody else. You'll be so amazed how quickly, new paths you're shown and how many amazing people you'll meet. Those are just some thoughts, man. But I'll give you a call. I'm gonna give you a buzz this week and check in with you as well. You got me, bruh. So you still got one left, dog. Let's hear a little bit more, man. Let's get another call right here. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, Theo? My name is Danny. I'm calling from Miami Beach over here in Florida.
Danny down in Miami, Danny.
I really just wanted to leave a little story with you. Wanted to get some of your advice on this. I have a coworker. I'm 21 years old to start off.
Are you 21, huh? You 21. Let's go.
Lovely lady coworker of mine. She's about 33, 34. It is Miami, so she's got some serious work done.
Oh, she got that work, huh? She got that facial construction, bruh. Sometimes women get all kind of shit, dude. So, some lady, she'll get her freaking, some ladies get their pussy put on their neck, and suddenly they got that neck rotch, and you're like, dang, boy. And they wear a scarf, and next thing you know, they take that scarf off, and next thing you know, y'all are fucking. So you can get all kind of stuff replaced and removed and everything. Let's hear more.
Not a bad-looking human at all. She recently asked me at work for my hand in her marriage. This lady proposed to me. She's one of these Europeans over here from Miami, Yugoslavian or Ukrainian or one of those things. I don't know.
Yeah, bruh, Slavs, cranes. You know what I'm saying? One of them Slavs, cranes. Yeah. So she asked you for your hand in marriage. She's older. She probably has money, I'm guessing. This is Miami.
Anyway, her main source of income other than work, she gets a little freaky with these NBA players, baseball players who come down here.
Okay, so she's an escort. and she wants, then why does she want you?
So I know she has the money to get into this marital situation for her papers. I don't know how to feel about the whole thing. I feel kind of pushed into it. I don't know how I'm going to have to consummate this marriage with this rather freaky European lady who is maybe my same height and is used to these giants. Just let me know what you would do with the situation.
Oh, you got a lot of things. So she's used to dealing with giants. She's used to dealing with athletes, gladiators. You know, I'm talking about real gladiators. You know, she's used to really dealing with those guys. So you're going to come in, you're going to be that third string fucker. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be that third string cock, you know? I mean, you're that bench dick. You ain't that starting lineup if she's hooking up with real athletes because she's making real money out there. She's out there escorting. And there's no shame in that. You know, if women, if that's how she makes her money, that's how she makes her money. So, look, man, she wants to be married for the papers. Here's what I would do. If you want to marry somebody for the papers, now, first of all, you're bringing somebody into the country. I mean, this shit, what you're doing is illegal. You got to know that. I mean, you know, at least you're not, you know, but if you're going to bring somebody into the country, man, I'd go 30,000, bruh, and a couple years of marriage. That's what I'd do. I'd do 30,000, couple years of marriage, and you get signed jerseys of everybody she bangs. So then that way, like everybody, at least you get something out of it. So years later when she's gone and it's all separated and everything, at least you running around with that autographed Tony Gwynn, you know? At least you running around with that autographed Devontae Adams. Go, Pack, go. You know? There you go. So that now we're talking. Now we're talking right there, and that's teamwork. But dude, look, man, if you in the import-export business, you import and exporting wives, maybe you that funny husband. Maybe this is just something you start, and next thing you know, a year from now, you marry him, you marrying a 90-year-old who's trying to get into America for $1 million. You know what I'm saying? And that's that American dream right there. Is that evolving, learning, and then evolving, man. Thank you for calling in very much, Danny, on that fake marriage. Thank you for calling. Let's take one more call here, man, and we're going to wrap it up today. I appreciate you guys so much for your calls. Here we go.
Hey, Theo, man, it's Jackson.
Hey, Jack, thank you for calling. Onward.
Hey, buddy, I was just calling. Just been dealing with a lot of internal strife.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I feel you, man. You know, I'll be honest, I've had kind of a good week, and so I almost feel ashamed saying that to you when you're calling and you're not feeling that super. More?
Been dealing with the loss of a loved one. My grandfather lived with him for 13 years, and he was a good man, and he raised me. I lost him this past December, and I lost my girl in January, and things have been kind of funny ever since. Fuzzy, if you will. Been dabbling in them dark arts, if you know what I mean, and finding some of that devil's dandruff, and just trying to get by. It seems like I get high, I get low, so I get high again. And man, I just want to say thank you. I've listened to you for a little while now, and you made me realize, sometimes it comes down to it. You just got to depend on yourself, and there's not much else. There's not much else to it. You got to be hard, and I just wanted to say thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Jack. I appreciate that call. When you said that, man, it's a hard realization, isn't it? I'm sorry for your loss, dude. I'm sorry. I bet your grandfather really loved you. It sounds like if you got to spend that much time with somebody. And senior citizens, man, they're such treasure boxes. We don't look at it like that sometimes, especially in America. We don't value, especially really in America. I mean, it's in real American culture, like in a lot of cultures, people value their grandparents a lot more. But it's, that loss, I'm so sorry for your loss and your girl. I can't even imagine that. But man, that is such a hard and real moment. And how scary that is to realize that you have to rely on yourself, man. And that is such a lonely, real, adult moment. You know, and it's so powerful when that kind of thing happens. I've had some moments like this happen. And it's so powerful because you know, you only feel it like when the feeling is kind of, it's not momentary, but it's, you know, it's the actual feeling of that, realizing that you are it's just you, that really it's just you. Like you have these other people you love and you have these people that you care about, but in the end, you know, especially as I'm sure you like when they leave and they leave this earth and they leave your life, then it's just you. And you are responsible for holding yourself up no matter what. And man, that's a beautiful but extremely lonely and powerful moment. But I've found, or I've seen that you can kind of go two ways from there. And you can, you know, we use stuff like cocaine and we use stuff like drugs, especially uppers, to make us feel. Man, I used to use cocaine to make me feel, man. I wanted to feel so bad. My whole life, I just never felt anything. I had a ton of amazing moments and experiences, and I'd been excited, and I'd been low, and I'd been happy and sad, but I was such a fucking box. I was such a box that I wasn't a cage. A cage, things can get in and out of. You can be cagey, and you can still let things in and out of. A cage, there's space between the bars. There's a sieve, there's a give and a take. But when you're a box, when you're a fucking cube, you don't know what's in there. Everything you're working out here, man. And then finally, and so I would use drugs to just simulate anything inside. Just to simulate something real. And so I understand using that to get high, to feel something. And I hope that you can, I wish I knew some suggestions, man. I just, I love you, bruh. Dude, and I don't want you to feel alone. It makes me sad to think that, I don't want you to think that the world is just going to take everybody from you and that you're not going to have people that care about you, or that more people aren't going to come into your life that want you and that want to show you that they love you, I don't want you to feel like you're not worth finding joy outside of drugs and outside of alcohol. I don't want you to be afraid to be a cage. I don't want you to turn into a box, man. But just don't be, I don't know. Man. I just don't want you to feel alone, bruh. That's tough, man. It's just, but you can, I think you're at least you're aware. So you're calling, you're talking about this, at least you're aware. And you can choose to surround yourself, or you're going to have to make some efforts to not be alone and to not give in to the dark side of shit. Because that's going to be the easy side. Oh, I'll buy this gram, I'll cop this escort. I'll do this, I'll do that. I'll find my way into the dark arts. I'll stay inside today. I'll just put another thing on the episode recorder button on the TV and I'll watch another series. But to get out, to venture, to stay open, it's going to take some vulnerability. You're going to have to show up at places even when you don't want to. Because all you really want to do is show people how much you're hurting. But the vulnerability there is not, hey, look how much I hurt. The vulnerability is to turn and say, look how strong I am. Because the hurt's going to be there no matter what. And people that love you and people that care and people that come along, they'll recognize it, man, and they'll see it. And they'll help you repair it. And I believe that. I believe that 100%. All right, guys, I want to thank you guys for hitting the hotline. And if you have any thoughts or questions or responses to anybody that we've called about, we're going to do some follow-up calls with some of these people. I want to let you guys know that Ridge Wallet has sponsored Trick Lung Mickey, and he's that baby cat who got them new airbags from somebody that died. They had a crack addict that died, and he got a lung transplant, and Mickey got his airbags. He got them new dust duffels. He got them new hitters. So, but Ridge Wallet is sponsored that we're going to take Mickey skydiving whenever his lungs can handle it, because lungs can't handle everything, but we're going to do it soon for him. All right, guys, I just want to say thank you guys so much for your calls. If you have any responses, follow-ups, questions, anything, you can hit the hotline 985-664-9503. If you have friends in China, in Shanghai, let them know. I'll be over there. If you have friends in any of those other cities, let them know I'm coming. Send some people out. Let's make something special happen. Thank you guys for being a part of this past weekend. I want to thank our This Past Weekenders Facebook group. I'll jump on there this week and do a live video or something on there that's just for them, or put a video up or something. I want to thank our Patreoners. They do so much, and that's allowing us to carry out our Stand Up for Single Moms at these different cities. I want to thank all of our listeners just for being around. Look, we're just experimenting. We don't really know what we're doing. And when I say we, I mean myself, producers Nick Davis, Chris Perez, Gianni Paolo, and just everybody, our sponsors, everybody. It's been a neat experiment, and I feel like we're just still getting started. So be good to yourselves out there, because you probably deserve it. Even sometimes when we think we don't. The craziest thing we can do is love ourselves. It's crazy, It's so crazy how hard it is to really, really do that. And I'm not coming from a place that I say I know. I don't know. But I want to learn. I want to learn, that's for sure. All right, I'll see you guys in Wyoming, Illinois at the Paramount Theater this Friday night. The second show is sold out. We still have the tickets on the early show. That's 6 p.m. on a Friday is the early show. And then I'll see you guys in Oxnard, California at Levity Live, July 6th, 7th, and 8th. Guys, it's summertime, and it's life. And this is it. And you can do it. So don't give up on yourselves. We need each other.
Celebrate living, celebrate misery.
You gotta celebrate it all, man. We have to try it. Come on. We got this. It's never too late, baby. We got this.
Let's have some fun while we all die. Celebrate dark days. Celebrate all your pain. All of your demons exercised. Let's have some fun while we all die.
Celebrate, guys.